Hello, the Pioneer viewers. We continue to bring you the latest developments on Russia-Ukraine war. While the war continues in full violence, the development in the background have a very important place. Increasing clashes in recent days have led to interesting claims about the course of the war. The uneasiness that emerges during the times of the war affects a large part of population. This situation, especially felt in Russia, prevents making plans for the future in many respects. Realizing the importance of strategic attacks, both sides are concentrating on this area. The Ukrainian army's strategic offensive doctrine, which has been in place since the beginning of the war, has yielded successful results. It is known that the Ukrainian army is updating itself with new strategies as a result of its successes. The Kiev authorities, who are drawing an active framework, are teaching a great lesson in front of the eyes of the world. Following Russia's full-scale invasion attempt against Ukraine, bloody clashes broke out in many regions. The clashes, which are still ongoing today, have not radically changed in the course of the war. Chronic fighting continues in certain areas of the front line. The changes in Russia and Ukraine are making everyone realize that the negative effect of the war. The Ukrainian army wants to push the occupying Russian army out of its borders. Many Ukrainian soldiers have announced that they will not return home until the Russian occupation ends. While the clashes continue fiercely, interesting developments continue to take place. In the past days, Russian warships were targeted by the Ukrainian army, and the Russian warship, which was heavily damaged in the attacks organized by the Ukrainian army, was engulfed in the flames. In addition, Russian sources in another region shared images showing the destruction after the Ukrainian army's attacks. The news posted on social media reached thousands of people in a short time. Now, if you're ready, let's examine the latest developments together. As the Pioneer, we continue to report on Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. The video shared on social media recently showed a Russian warship on fire. Details about the video, which reached thousands of people in a short time, have emerged. The Russian war leadership Caesar Kunikov was targeted after the airstrikes organized by the Ukrainian army in recent days. In a statement referring to the Ukrainian military intelligence, it was stated that the Ukrainian army targeted the Russian ship in its latest attacks. The Caesar Kunikov, a Robchoga-class landing ship, was destroyed after successful attacks by the Ukrainian army. In his statements, the Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine explained how the Russian war leadership was destroyed. Caesar Kunikov was destroyed as a result of the operations carried out jointly by the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Ukrainian military intelligence, the Chief of the General Staff said. At the time of the Ukrainian operation, the Russian ship Olubka was in the Ukrainian territorial waters nearby. The Ukrainian army, showing great reaction and resistance to the Russian invasion, stated that they will destroy every element occupying their territory. Stating that the Ukrainian territorial waters belong only to Ukraine, the authorities stated that they will continue strategic operations. The Ukrainian army has been hitting critical targets belonging to the Russian army since the beginning of the war. Especially the Russian Navy has suffered great losses. The Russian army lost a large part of the Black Sea Fleet. The Ukrainian army is particularly dominating in and around Crimea. The Russian army barrier in the region is insufficient. The Ukrainian army continues to increase its influence and power day by day. Russia's aggressive behavior in the Black Sea has recently put its presence in the region under great danger. The Ukrainian army's drone attacks in the Black Sea forced the Russian Navy to retreat. The remaining parts of the Russian Navy in the region were hunted down one by the Ukrainian army, and as the result that the Ukrainian army has begun to make its presence felt, the Russian army became anxious and moved away from the region. As a result of the withdrawal of the Russian Navy, the Russian danger in the Black Sea was eliminated. The attacks of the Ukrainian army continue unabated. Images of the war are spreading rapidly on social media. Today, thanks to the development of technology, instant images can be distributed quickly over the internet. For this reason, the videos shared by the soldiers spread rapidly and provide important information about the war. The video recorded by a Russian soldier recently showed an attack by the Ukrainian army. The footage of the Ukrainian army's attacks on the Russian war leadership clearly shows the severity of the attack. The attack was carried out by the Ukrainian drones at 5 different points, and the Russian ship was engulfed in flames. The Russian commander on board says that the Ukrainian army carried out a very destructive attacks and all the equipment belonging to the Russian units were destroyed. While the Russian soldiers tried to save what he can, he recorded footage of all the equipment on the ship burning. Trying to extinguish the flames, the Russian soldier realizes that he's trying in vain. Many comments were made on the video of the Russian soldier who recorded the footage and posted in social media. In the comments, the danger awaiting Russian soldiers were mentioned. The families of the Russian soldiers continue to wait anxiously. The families of the soldiers who oppose Moscow's war policies are trying to express their reactions on every platform, trying to strike a balance against the harsh attitude of the Kremlin administration. The families of the soldiers don't want to turn a blind eye to the injustice. The Kremlin is at the center of the criticisms for keeping soldiers whose contracts have expired on the front line and for the fact that the soldiers can only return home when they die. The Kremlin administration, hesitant to declare a new mobilization before the upcoming elections in Russia, finds the situation in keeping the soldiers on the front line. Difficult days are expected for the Russian army, which is struggling to make gains on the front line. In the reports shared by the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces on the front line, information about the attacks in recent days was shared. It was stated that the Ukrainian army made partial progress in counterattacks. It was also stated that the Russian troops suffered significant losses as a result of the airstrikes and organizations by the Ukrainian army. As a result of the airstrikes, 4 Russian artillery systems were destroyed and a Russian command post was heavily damaged. 2 ammunition depots and an electronic warfare system belonging to the Russian army were successfully destroyed by the Ukrainian army. So, what do you think about the Ukrainian operation against the Russian warship? How do you assess the Ukrainian army's moves to ensure security in the Black Sea? Do you think the Ukrainian army succeeded in its strategic offensive plans? What do you think about the losses of the Russian military? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care, and I also personally respond to all of your comments.